Battlefield 1 is out, it's good, but it's definitely not for players who don't take it seriously. So here are 10 things you need to know when starting a new game. Starting off at number 10, this is something that is criminally underutilized. Squad leaders. You need to pay attention, and you should always mark your objectives. Not only is it just helpful for the rest of your squad, but you earn way more points for doing so why wouldn't you? And we're not only talking about squad leaders, just players in general should really embrace the squad system. Being in a squad is a basic XP multiplier. You'll do more of everything, and you'll do it much faster. And if you're looking to progress like most people are, you should stick with squads because it's going to help you out a ton. And at number 9, speaking of progression, you need to use the medal system to your advantage. Every week the game will refresh with new medals that you can choose and commit to that are basically like micro challenges within the game. You know, completing certain objectives like winning with a certain class or getting headshots with a certain gun. Completing these medal challenges will help you out because it's a good accomplishment and you get dog tags, which is what pretty much most people want in these games. It's not the perfect system, you can't work on all medals at once, but I guess that's their way of kind of limiting you. And also people are realizing that you do need to complete these objectives in a row. You have to go through one objective at a time to achieve them, but you can bounce back and forth between these medals and the game does save your progress, but it of course all goes away after a week and the medal system resets. It's really just cosmetic stuff, but it's fun to earn it, and it's another way to keep busy while playing multiplayer with these mini challenges within the game itself. And at number 8, here's a tip we picked up on. Don't really bother with the companion app, at least for now, because honestly, it's kind of a mess. It's been reported by a lot of players that unfortunately when you load up the companion app, there's a bug that has a tendency to reset your loadouts to all of its default items. So if you equip something in the app, which the app itself is really just running the website, it resets all your presets in-game, so next time you play, you have to switch them all back to your preferred. The companion app also has missing things like the medic crate, the ammo crate in the gadgets section, and little things here and there are missing. The companion app has been useful in the past, but for Battlefield 1, as of right now, it's not that great. You don't need to bother with it. I'd suggest not to waste your time. And at number 7, listen to me, save your war bonds. For those of you that don't know, you earn war bonds through leveling up your character, but they are very limited. And I've seen a lot of people making the mistake of blowing them all right from the beginning on things that aren't really important, like different melee weapons, or stuff for classes like pilot and tanker that you don't actually even use in any match. So for a lot of people, it's kind of just a waste. I would say just save those war bonds, hang on to them until you unlock a bunch of stuff and really figure out what classes you like to use, and then go wild and use all those war bonds that you've eventually saved up enough so then you can spend them more wisely. And at number 6, you know the way each class, like a medic and a scout, have their own progression systems? Well, so do tanks and planes. So if you want to consistently level up a certain vehicle, you need to pay attention to make sure you always choose and opt for that vehicle whenever you can to level it up more effectively. It's the same thing for the actual character classes themselves. Look, if you're trying to level up a support class, stay out of the tank. Even though it's there and you want to select it, a lot of times it's a waste of time for you, especially if you're trying to make your support class better and hook them up with better stuff. So it goes back and forth, but honestly, I just suggest to be a focused player. If you want to get cool tank variants, play as that specific tank. If you want to emphasize a certain class, stay with that certain class. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but for some beginners, this system is a little deeper than they might expect. And at number 5, you should definitely learn the art of rushing in objective-based modes. When you start in one of these modes, it actually makes more sense to not waste a tank or a plane. First of all, the tanks are way too slow, and when you start out a match, you want to get to where you need to be effectively and as fast as possible. If it's Conquest, you're going to want to get to those points quickly and hold them down. You're not going to do that with a tank. You're going to want that tank later. Trust me. It can be argued that you can get there quick with a plane, but it's kind of a waste. Again, you're going to want that plane later on. Don't waste that plane for your teammates and go out and capture a point. It's going to help you win the match, and it's going to make you a much more effective player. And at number 4, in a lot of maps and a variety of different game modes, chances are you're going to come across someone on a horse. Most likely they're going to be an elite class, and horses are fast, and the person on top of the horse can be very dangerous, and you want to take them out. If you square up against a rider on a horse, it's very important. Shoot the rider, not the horse. Aim for the rider of the horse as much as you can, because horses are like tanks. They can take way too much damage. So plugging away at a horse is basically going to be a waste of your time, and it's going to leave you dead in a ditch. Aim for the rider and continue on with your fight. And at number 3, if you're playing as the scout class, you can be incredibly helpful to your team. You know, all the gadgets are useful, but the flare gun will be your absolute best friend. It'll be your teammates' best friend as well. For those of you that don't know, shooting the flare gun into the air automatically and temporarily identifies enemies near you. They'll be highlighted and you can see them and you have an advantage. That helps a ton, especially for rooting out campers. And I definitely suggest using the flare gun as much as possible. Also, if you shoot it in a fairly high but arced shot, you'll get the most range and time out of that flare gun shot. So practice how you shoot it and think about the direction you're shooting it. You're going to be much better off. And at number 2, this might be a no-brainer for some, but a lot of people don't realize this. Always finish your matches. You're going to want to stay to the end of the match to receive bonus XP rewards, including XP multipliers. You don't get them if you leave. The multipliers, of course, can be earned through a variety of different ways, many of which I have talked about, but you'll always miss them if you leave a game before it ends. So don't do that. If you're also the type of person that's into earning and using battle packs, you're only going to get those by finishing the matches as well. If you want those rare skins, finish matches no matter how bad you're losing. And at number 1, here's a nice tip that will make everybody's life a bit better. If you're playing with friends, make your squad open to public so that everyone else isn't stuck around with a ton of different useless small squads. If you're playing with an entire group that really knows how to use the squad system effectively, you'll know that by having like 10 squads of 2 really is kind of just a game-losing strategy. It's not really good for anyone, so if you are playing with a friend via like an Xbox Live Party system or whatever, open your squad to public. It actually automatically defaults to being private and closed, but let other people in the lobby join in and get on the squad-based action because, like I've highlighted before, it's really freaking useful, especially if you want to progress as fast as possible. So guys, those are 10 things you need to know when jumping into Battlefield 1. Hopefully these will get you playing better, winning more, earning XP, and progressing your character in, you know, a more rewarding fashion. If you have any more tips, we'd love to hear them down in the comments. If you've been playing Battlefield 1 or the Battlefield series for a while, be sure to share down in the comments anything you want for any newcomers. And of course, you guys know the deal. Clicking the like button helps us out a ton. It helps us do more videos and more Battlefield videos. And subscribing if you're new is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.